Black holes. The punchline of your mama jokes and astrophysics everywhere. But can a black hole draw me in? Can this ink summit the ink shelf of the gods? Can I make it through an entire week of Destiny 2 without getting an exotic? These are the very important questions, and I'm going to answer 2 of these in this video. First thing you may be asking yourself right now is, where's the dude's face? Well, I asked a few weeks ago what type of content you guys prefer, and a whopping 40 of you said top down. But Yivy, that's like only 1.4% of your viewers doing the voting, you say. Well, yeah, but people like that are answering those things are most likely the same people that are likely to comment on every video and open a dialogue. If I'm wrong, and you are an ardent viewer, and you didn't vote, then get over to the community tab on my page and vote. Until then, I'm going to be doing the will of the people. And now that we have that little bit of democracy out of the way, let's get back to the ink. Lovely, fluid, colorful ink. Oh wait. I forgot we aren't looking at pretty colors this week. Oh well, let's see if I can get through the review of a black ink without losing more than half of my audience in the first 2 minutes. So today we are talking about Colorverse Black Hole. Once again, this is one of those very well done 5ml sample bottles with the hard to fill system. Seriously, this bottle is nice, but the pipette that comes with these is a bit of a nightmare. I found a way to bypass the pipette, and I promise I will talk about that at some point, but that is for another video, like a Q&A or something. Anyways, this bottle, regardless of if I like the ink, or not, is one of the main reasons that I keep coming back to Colorverse as a brand. With brands like Kaweco and Waterman, I wouldn't want to see them try a bottle like this because, well, they're old brands. It just wouldn't feel right, I guess. But Colorverse is a hip, young brand with tons of color options and cool bottles and stickers. But you don't get the stickers on the boxes like these. I mean, bottles, you know what I mean. Anyways, I've already thrown out the box, maybe that's why I was thinking about it. Something about having already filmed this video and deciding to redo it for, well, reasons. So we're not going to be looking at that. What this does mean, however, is that 475 words in, I can talk to you about KPIs. So let's start off with dry times. But first, a word from our furry overlords. This is a dog. Specifically, this is my dog. She is not amused with the time I spend doing this review. But she allows it because of amazing people that help me bribe her with treats. So if you like these reviews and find them useful, or like bribing animals, then click on that Patreon link down below. So looking at the dry times, we are not off to a good start here. This is a slow drying ink, which, come to think of it, really fits in with black holes. You know, time dilation and all that good sciencey stuff. But even though the dry time now tangentially fits the name, I'm just not a fan of these 30-second dry times on both Tomoe and Rhodia. This KPI right here is enough to pretty much already take this ink out of the workplace rotation for me because I'm a slow writer. And it really makes it hard for me to endorse this ink for journaling. And that is saying something, which is kind of sad because this ink has some really good properties to it. As long as I get that in frame, you can see that it's a good shade of black. It's actually one of the better black inks that I've looked at as far as the color profile goes. We've got some nice bluish grays in the lighter portions, and, well, if you want to call those mids, but it really is reminiscent of an oil slick throughout the rest of the color. And I really like that about this ink. And I would love to see a faster dry time, but maybe they're able to get this level of saturation because they are okay with having dry times that look like that. Water performance, though, is a little bit of a saving grace. As we put water on the page, the color blob is horrendous, and initially it does have me thinking that this ink is going to fail miserably underwater. But I'm finding myself pleasantly surprised here. I mean, as we look through the water and onto the page, what we're left with looks like it's going to be pretty good. And sure enough, as we get water off the page, what we have is a cloud around what's left. And, I mean, yeah, that cloud is pretty ugly, but you can see what you wrote, and you can write it again with a much better ink on a new page. And that is what counts at the end of the day. And that brings us around to the writing samples. I've decided that from here on out, I'm going to be as consistent as humanly possible, and to that end, all of my writing samples will be done with the Kaweco Lilliput Fire Blue of mine with a broad nib. It's easy to clean, and it will help you viewers get a better view of the performance from one ink to the next. This time around, we are starting on Tomoe. I will give Black Hole one thing, it's bold. So far, I have found myself often disappointed by the boldness of the black inks that I've tried, and this one manages to avoid that. It feels like I'm writing with an oil slick in a pen. Maybe that kind of also explains the dry times. The only reason those aren't more of an issue for me here on the writing samples is that I write at an awkward angle compared to pretty much everybody, so my hands really aren't coming close to the ink, but if they were, it would be really ugly. I think the writing samples, both here on Tomoe and now on Rhodia, really add to the disappointment with this ink. There is so much potential on display with the overall color being as bold as it is with a nice RGB value of 51,018. And the water performance makes it a rugged ink outside of Noodler's inks. But when those other performance indicators are so appealing, the dry time ruins an otherwise perfect ink for me. Black inks must dry quick. The only reason I'm even going to have a black ink in the collection is for writing something that is not allowed to be in another color for certain reasons, like filling out a legal document or stuff like that. If I'm using an ink in situations like that, then I need an ink that is going to dry much quicker than 30 seconds. And this ink just cannot do that. It's like having a world-class sprinter run an Olympic event backwards. You just don't do that. And yet, this ink did it. So to circle back around to those questions at the top of the video, this ink is a hard pass. I'll keep it around until I can feel okay with donating it to someone that knows what they're getting into with the dry time, and then it's off the shelf. You'll have to let me know down in the comments if you've tried this ink and come to a different conclusion. And that's gonna do it for our look at Colorverse Black Hole. If you liked the video or found it helpful, then hit that like button, get subscribed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Like, seriously, who decided crabs had things to do with pens? I don't get it. It's a crab. What does this have to do with this? This, and this. This. What do they have to do with each other?